In this video, we're going to talk about the state of Bitcoin and crypto with the current talks of war and escalation going on. And we've got some good news and we've got some not so good news. Welcome to Straight Up Crypto. My name's Jim. Be sure to read my disclaimer in the video description down below. I'm not a financial advisor. I am most certainly not your dad. It's your money, so be sure to take responsibility for it. Now listen, I am not a political guy. I am not a global relations expert. And most people, in fact, know just a little tiny bit, maybe one little fact or something, and then they talk about it like they know everything. And this is crypto, and that's my lane. And so that's where we're going to talk, and that's what we're here for. Now, listen, the crypto market and all markets in general hate uncertainty. And this has been a year full of that. We've been dealing with it all year, and that uncertainty actually continues right now with the war conversation going on. But hot take, news doesn't matter. Oh, but Jim, the market's down. They announced this thing last night and it's all over the news. Yep, indeed. And the market has been down since May 12th. We've actually been in a downtrend for about 6 weeks already. And then the news comes and there's another drop within this downtrend already. So the market really plummeted after Trump took office. And then for like 4 months, we were down and sideways. And then in a period of just 6 weeks, Bitcoin reached a new all-time high. And then here we are in another correction. It's where we've been. So you can argue your point all you like about the news is the reason that the market is down, but how would you explain the correction that we've been in for the 6 weeks leading up to it? So TA, the charts, are a physical representation of what people are doing in the market. Sentiment, the way that people feel about things, drive whether they are buying or selling, what the most people are doing, right? And so I bring up XRP all the time, but it's just because it's a great example of so many things. I'm not an XRP hater. I'm not personally invested in it. I have owned it and I've gotten out. But XRP has good news all the time, right? Talking about ETFs, though, the lawsuit is going to end. This person said to buy it. This institution's involved. Whatever. All these things are always coming up, and then the price doesn't react at all. So how can we have it both ways? How can the bad news be the driver of the downside, but the good news doesn't drive it up? And listen, yes. Sometimes there's good news and then the price goes up. But guess what? We were already guaranteed we were already in some sort of an uptrend. The sentiment was already there. Things were already moving. That's how, when we reach these parabolic moves at the end of a market, news is good, retail comes in and it continues to drive it up. But the market was already good. If you've got good news and we're in a bear market, people don't start jumping in. It's got to be already doing well, right? So the news doesn't matter. The news can create some volatility. And it has definitely done that, on top of the fact that, it's Sunday and I'm on the East Coast of the United States. That's Eastern Standard Time. And here, at least, the weekly candle close is at 8 p.m. And on Sundays, we see a lot of volatility as it is. The traditional markets aren't involved. They're closed. And so volume is lower. So buying and selling has a lot more of an impact on it because the volume just isn't there. A lot of buying and selling compared to how much total volume there would be. When volume is low, a little bit of buying or selling can affect the price a lot more. Now, the good news is that the same charts that told us that we've been in a downtrend since May 12th and see that we're still in it are the same things that we can use to determine if we're going to turn around. So there's a short-term bullish scenario. When I say short-term bullish, meaning that this downtrend that we're in, that this correction ends and we turned around, okay, in the shorter term, and then probably continue back to all-time highs, and we'll see what that looks like, but I'm just saying in the short term we would turn around. But in order for that to happen, Bitcoin price would have to get back up over 100,000 pretty quickly and find 100,000 as a support in order to continue back up. Getting over it and then coming back down isn't going to do it for us. So that would be that we got below 100,000. We find that really strong psychological level and turn it around. Okay, that's great. Now, I hate to say bad news because the bad news is the potential war, right? So the not so good news as far as crypto is concerned is I'm thinking that that's probably not the case. It's possible. I don't want to say that we won't get back up on over 100,000 in the short term, but I'm thinking that there's probably some more pain involved. It seems very likely based on what I see in the charts. And so the short term bearish, meaning that we would go down before turning around, I'm looking at to find support Bitcoin. We can't go based off of alts because the alts aren't really going to, maybe one or two might start to turn around first. But realistically, Bitcoin's going to lead the way on this. The sentiment is based around Bitcoin largely, would be that we're going to find support in the $96,000 to $92,000 region, right? And so that's a big gap. That's $4,000, but from 100,000, that's really only 4%, one way or the other. And then finding support in that range, 96 to 92K, turn around, back up over 100, and another leg up. Now, we've been expecting a summer dump. It was due based on the fact that we hit a new all-time high and we had such a big run up in such a short period of time, but also typically the markets are less active. They're a little slower in the summertime. People's attention are elsewhere. Financials are different. And so it could take several weeks to maybe even a few months in order for this to turn around and go back up. If this is the official summer dump that we're expecting and we go down, it could take a while. If we turn it around now, then we're probably looking at another big drop, later on after we, find some recovery and see where we go. Now, I'm not going to give you projections. I'm not going to talk about this is my target and all that stuff because first of all, I don't do that because we have to watch the charts day by day, and I don't sit and drill into them constantly and stress over every little move. Don't do that. But in the short term, if we get back up there, then we're going to look and see what's happening, see how things are moving to see where we might go to. So what we're looking at, just to summarize all of that, is that if we get back over $100,000 pretty quickly, then we can look at maybe, challenging all-time highs in the short term. If we don't, we're looking at support between 96 and 92K region to go back up. That doesn't mean we can't go lower. 90,000 psychological would be another strong support. There's support at 87,000. Now it's all possible, right? This is crypto. It's volatile. We make big swings. We could go there. So there's also the possibility that this is the beginning of a bear market, of a multi-year bear market. Earlier than expected, doesn't align perfectly with the 4-year cycle, which is what I personally and a lot of people go off of until the 4-year cycle breaks. We're going to go based on that's what we're going to follow. But, so this would be earlier than normal, earlier than expected to go into a bear market, but it is possible if the sentiment doesn't turn around and, things continue not to go well in the globally and we enter into a full scale official World War III, which I would hope that, that they would do everything to prevent that from happening, but it is possible. I'm looking at approximately $80,000 to $82,000 as the last kind of major support before I go, oh, we're in trouble, right? So we've got a long way to go before we get there. So I'm not losing my mind over it. Certainly, it's not going to feel good if you didn't take profits or you're not heavily in Bitcoin versus some much more volatile altcoins. Yes, if you're in those altcoins more heavily, the pain is going to be much, much greater. If Bitcoin sneezes, the altcoins, they just fall all the way down the stairs. So there is that risk. But the bottom line is we've got 3 scenarios. Turn it around now, support in the, low to mid 90,000s. We could go lower. And if we drop below that low 80s, at least right now, then possible bear market. Right now, these numbers could change all the time. Don't watch this video and go, Jim said this, and then just never look at the charts or never think about it again, because these numbers change. It's based on where we are. That number, that bear market number just, 5 months ago was was about 69,000. At that time, if we got to 69,000, we were like, oh no, we're in trouble. This is a bear market. But now we're all the way talking about low 80s. So a lot can change based on previous moves. So we need to stay on top of this, right? So I know I didn't really talk about the war because the point is that the markets are going to do what they're going to do, and the news is not the driver, but it is the sentiment was already there. The uncertainty was already there, and so we're following the charts. So the only thing that I would ask of people is to remember that this is, as far as the war goes, I mean, is that this is governments and government leaders doing this. This is not the people. The governments represent the people, but they are not, when it comes to these things, people, the average person with a wife or husband and kids and a job and all this are not looking for war. So when you're out there in the world, on the internet, streaming your video games, commenting in the comment section, please be kind, be respectful, love one another. If you like this video, if you like this kind of content, if you want to stay on top of things, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.